We're watching the Magnificent Seven, not so magnificent. The sell-off has been underway. Many of the names are at risk of losing more than $500 billion combined. When you look at the market cap and the sell-off that we have seen, you're seeing Nvidia, for example, at $100, had just been at 140. Tech megacaps are in focus. David Nelson is with us, chief strategist over at Bell Point Asset Management. We had a couple of days of selling at the end of last week, and maybe some people were hoping to come in today and have it all turned around with up arrows. How come that didn't happen?
That got all dashed, I guess, late Friday when we got the news on Nvidia and the delay of a chip, and of course, Buffett's sale of, a big portion of his Apple stake. I think Buffett's sale of Apple really says a lot more about his view of the economy than it does about the stock. He also sold a lot of Bank of America, and that's a clear indication he views the economic backdrop as poor. But if that's true, Nicole, then a lot of these companies that are for sale today, these are going to be the best stocks to weather that storm.
So selling off these names, we were just having a great conversation with Tom White, and we were saying, the prudence that we saw is raising cash. In fact, they have a record amount of cash there at Berkshire Hathaway, $277 billion. When do you say there's opportunity? Are you seeing opportunity in the market? Do you think that with the NASDAQ 15% off its highs and the S&P 10%, those are the probably lowest points, are there opportunities yet, or are you waiting for something?
Well, I came in fully invested. So for me, it's usually what I look to do is I look to upgrade, sell something that isn't working for me, and either add to a position that I like more or buy a brand new position. I look at some of these large cap names. Everybody's concerned about the valuation of the Magnificent Seven. You saw this mass rotation for a while going into small caps, and what's happened in the last several weeks, the valuation gap between the Magnificent Seven and some of these other asset classes like small caps has collapsed. Some of these names are very, very attractive. I thought Apple's announcement on their version of AI, Apple Intelligence, I thought it was brilliant. They're effectively making 1.3 billion iPhones around the world obsolete. That creates a pretty big upgrade cycle. And again, I would say to you, these are companies with fortress-like balance sheets that have no need for credit. So in an economic downturn, this is where you're going to want to be.
Right, understood. At this point, there were high hopes of that Apple iPhone cycle happening sooner than later. But now, because they're pushing back the AI portion of this, the 16 is what everybody thought they would be able to get this in September, but that's not going to happen now, right? We have to wait.
It's going to happen over a couple of cycles. It's never going to happen over, one product cycle. And of course, it's up to Apple to deliver an exciting product. I think the bigger issue within the AI trade is that's really been playing out over the last several weeks is this mismatch in timing. Within the AI complex. The build out of the infrastructure is well ahead of the adoption of AI. The hyperscalers are ramping up a lot of CapEx, and they're not getting the payback yet. So you have to look around there, what can work in that environment. If you look inside Meta, they're spending all that money, but they're getting paid off right now. So I would look to Meta as a name that you would either add to if you don't already own it. If you don't own it right now, you should.
Let's get to picks. Let's get to some stock picks. You mentioned Meta as a name that you should own, that you like. It's down today 2.5%. Many of these names are well off the highs. What other names do you think should definitely be in a portfolio?
If you don't have exposure to Nvidia at all in your portfolio, most portfolio managers right now are underweight because of the run in the stock, and most portfolio managers have owned it for the last couple of years and have benefited from that. But if you don't own any, this is where you're going to have to start to scale in. People mistake this company as just a chip company. It is not. It is a systems company. And AI engineers cannot easily change to another chip company just because they have a better, faster, or cheaper chip. NVIDIA brings them AI tools and software that they're using right now. They're not going to easily change that. So unless you believe artificial intelligence is not coming, if you believe that, then of course avoid these names. But if you do, then these stocks are going to work out over the long run.
Yeah, understood. There was a lot of talk about things that are going on that the leverage players are getting margin calls. You had the yen carry trade, which is not working any longer, and 2-year yields falling so quickly left people wondering what's lurking. I mean, this is sort of reminiscent of when the regional banks started failing, when you started to see moves like that. Do you want to comment on any of those thoughts?
Yeah, you brought up probably the biggest concern. The last time 2-year Treasury yields fell this quickly, Silicon Valley and signature banks failed. So it does beg the question, what's lurking out there? Plus, around the world, we obviously have a lot of concern. Every corner of the planet is a geopolitical hotspot. There could easily be an attack on Israel from Iran at almost any moment. And of course, we have these currency trades that are going out there. The carry trades that are being unwound creates a lot of concern. So there's likely things lurking out there. And I've kind of been doing this for a while. I know I can't avoid all of them. I do my best to sidestep what I can. But day trading in and out of these names is probably not the best thing that the average investor should do.
David, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. A big day right now. The Dow's down 927 points. We're nowhere near kicking in the circuit breakers, but it certainly feels, you could feel the tension, right? When the VIX went up over 60, something's up. David Nelson, Bell Point Asset Management, thank you for being with us.